Alafia.
I love
Welcome
you.
to this journey called Life podcast with Sherna, Oshun, and
This is Ty.
listen, y'all. We were talking about our daddy. We was talking about our daddy, so we're gonna talk about our daddy. What you say, Ty? Fathers and their daughters.
I wish,
Fathers and their
I wish,
daughters.
I wish you know how you see some videos and they do like this is a picture that pop up in your hand. I-
Yes, he is. Love him dearly. Yeah.
His other
So,
nickname is what, Victor Newman. So if you ever seen,
oh yes,
yeah, if you ever seen the stories, I don't remember the name of the darn story that it
the
was
Young and the
Young and the
Restless. I
Restless.
remember
Young and the Restless.
the Young and the Restless.
That's our daddy. That's our daddy.
That was Daddy.
And
That is our
everybody
daddy.
want him as a father or love him as an uncle or revere him as a friend or a partner, business, professional contact, you name it. That is truly our father. Master mechanic, knows knows a lot, and
Yes.
does a lot. Firm in his beliefs and his boundaries, and
He
does
is
not
10 toes, 10
down,
fingers,
down,
eyes
down.
down in them in beliefs, baby. You are not moving that man when he says what he says. He is the epitome of boundaries.
All day, every day. You understand? All day, every
Every
day.
day.
Um, but he's also gentle and he's kind. He's loving. He loves life. He has literally been all around America, North America. Solo dolo, him and his truck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
country boy, city living, and love his kids.
Every last one of us.
The ones he's birthed and the ones he's gained.
Yep.
And all his nieces and nephews love him, come to him for everything. He's amazing. And he is not the oldest. He was,
Nope.
he is, let him, the way he'd tell it. He was a runt in the family, country boy. Um, I don't know. He's everything. He literally is. He's all the above. Whatever you could think of about a father, he's all the above, right? That doesn't mean he doesn't have any faults, but he is truly all of the above, and we all call him daddy. The girls do
Mm-hmm.
anyway.
Everything.
The girls do
Yep.
for sure, right? And there's six of us, three
Yes,
boys, three
we are
girls.
daddy girls.
We are definitely daddy's girls all day,
Yes.
every day. And when you get on the phone or you talk to him, it's gonna be 2, 3 hour conversation every time. Um,
Mm-hmm. One time for me, it was a well over 4 hours. I screenshotted the time and put it in my family group chat with my kids and my wife. And when that the response, it was like, "Yo, you be on the phone that long?" Absolutely, we have to
absolutely.
allot that kind of time.
Yeah, I remember when we first met, and just to level set this conversation, I met him when I was 23, 24. And my lovely sister had the ability to be with him majority of her life, right? And which is a beautiful thing. So she can tell me stories that I can envision, but I wasn't there
Hmm.
for. So from the moment that we've had our conversation, matter of fact, when I actually talked to him for the very first time, he was actually in Nevada and I lived in Florida.
Okay.
And he told me that he was going to lose signal. It was going to take several hours because he had to go over the mountains. And He said that was the most excruciating time that he's ever experienced in his life, having to wait to talk to me. And so when that transpired and a few other runs that he had, he is a truck driver who owns his own business. So he contracts with different other companies, and he's one of those folks that make sure everyone has what they need, right? He's one of the necessity individuals, right? Um, so we talked on the phone for 6 hours straight one time, 6 hours straight. And that phone bill, he said, was like $3,000. And from that point on, that man called me. He was like, "Hey, you got to this back when Sprint was still a thing, Nextel and then
Yes.
Sprint." And at the time, I had a prepaid phone. He told me, "Go to Sprint." He said, "Tell them my information, and you already set it up. I have a line added for you on my phone bill. I need you to get a phone to be on my plan. Number one, so the bill won't be so high. Number two, so I never ever lose you again." So, to this day,
Because we've been looking for you, girl.
this day, my father still pays my bill. My father still pays my cell phone bill to this day.
Hmm.
All right.
Hmm.
And ain't nothing I won't do for that man. Just straight up. He's a friend. In addition to being,
Hmm.
my father, he is truly a friend of mine. And there is no conversation or topic that I cannot have with him. He is a very
Exactly.
understanding individual. He's lived life. He's been through quite a bit. He's one of those people that will tell the truth about what he's did in the situation, what he's caused, and he will apologize for his actions when it comes to his kids. I can't speak for nobody else, but
Yeah. Just
he
us.
just us. Um, and for all of the stuff that we've gone through as individuals, one of the things that he has never ever lied about is his kids, how many he's had, how much he cared and loved them, and just wanted them to be together. And one year we were able to do that for him. I'll never forget the year.
Oh, love it.
Well, that had to be, was that 29? That was that 2019, 2018, 2019, I think.
One of them 2 years.
Yeah, it was
The first year, one of us was missing,
the
and then
first
the
year.
second year,
That's right. This,
the one that was missing was present.
matter of fact, what year was that? It was 3 years ago, 4 years ago. It was 4 years ago
Yeah.
because my daughter was pregnant. It's 4 years ago.
Yes.
It's 4 years ago.
Yes.
She was pregnant, and our baby sister was able to get our middle brother to fly in as a secret. We all knew that he was coming in, and Daddy didn't know. And so she said, "Dad, I need you to go help me with my bag." So he had to go inside the airport to grab the bag. She said, "Come help me come help with my bag, my package." And when he walked
Yeah.
in to get the package, he saw his son. So all of us
Yes.
was at the house together. It was amazing. It was amazing to have all six
It
of us
was.
together. It was a beautiful time and a tragic situation that was transpiring at the time, but it was a beautiful time to have all six of us together because at the time it was traumatic for my daughter who had just lost the father of her son while still pregnant. But she was adamant about being present to see all six of us together. So we went straight from the
Yes.
funeral to my father's house and had an amazing time. And we took a picture
Yes.
that I still have on my profile
Mhm.
today because it was just a boot. It was just one of those moments that
Mhm.
was had to be solidified in history. To talk about fathers and daughters is something that we do need to focus on when it comes to healing, right? And
Mhm.
this journey called life. With that being said, me saying, hey, I met him when I was 23, 24. I looked for him prior to that, but the topic of conversation of him wasn't going to transpire in my house when I was growing up because of the pain that my mother and my father went through emotionally. So his name wasn't going to transpire in the house. But my sister, flat out, one of my oldest sisters was like, hey, this is your daddy. This is what he looked like. This is where he's located. This is where he lived. Like she was boom, 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 boom. You'll never ever have to be concerned about ever knowing who your father is ever again. I just never want to see you cry about this, blah, 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 right? And I think because of the way she talked about him, I knew that he was a good dude. I knew he was a good dude because my sister, one thing she gonna do is protect me. So I knew that he was a good dude. Although the messaging I was receiving wasn't a positive one out of, emotional pain. But I knew that he was a good dude because my sister would never ever tell me anything about someone that was meant to hurt me or harm me.
Mhm.
But it was just a beautiful time. I guess there's some backseat going on your side. Yeah, I can hear myself double talk. But it was just a beautiful time. But we were just sitting here talking about how, how important it is to have your father in your life. Just to talk about that in general, I think if I would have truly had him in my life from as a child, up into my teenage years, there may have been some things that I would not have experienced. Um, but although we know that those type of experiences may have helped you become the person you are today, I just know life would have been just a tad different, right? Um, but the way finding him made me whole is something that we really need to talk about, um, as women. While this can be applied to sons and fathers, let's just talk about daughters and their fathers just for a moment here. One of the things about women, when you're a child, as a girl, you're taught you don't kiss boys, no boyfriends, right? You're taught to kind of stay away from boys. You're told that. But boys are told opposite. And we know that. We hear it all the time. But when you have a really strong father figure in the house, or access to communicate with and have a great relationship with a father figure, it prepares you for life. You wouldn't have um, so many. You'll be able to read the red flags. Let me say that you'll be able to understand the red flags because a strong father figure is going to do all they can to protect their daughter. They are. They just really are. Something about fathers becoming fathers to daughters, it melts them emotionally. And they'll do whatever they can to protect that daughter, no matter what it is. They will give up their life for their daughter if they had to. I can't really speak to what it is. I could just tell you what I've seen and what I've experienced from it. I remember times where my father, I'm grown, all right, grown with two kids, married in a whole two, three states over. And I've had my daddy call me like, come home. I miss you. Come home. Straight up. But then I just put gas in the car, come home, and I'll take care of the rest. I've had him say that to me a couple times, right? In my 20s, in my 30s. I even had that man say that to me in my 40s. Hey, oh, he'll text me quick. I miss you. I'm thinking about you. Heart with a little heart. When that man started learning how to use emojis,
Girl, daddy
But but, the conversation hit different when you have your father figure, your father, and as a woman, as a daughter, being able to lean in, give your father a hug, or just spend time sitting outside with a beer in the rocking chair. It's one of the best things ever. Um,
in the garage.
Garage.
No,
Garage. Listen, it's everything. It's everything. I don't even know how to explain the joy, the sheer joy. I revert back to being that little girl every single time I am with my father. It's it's just what it is. And every time the six of us, or the five of us, whatever, we can get together, or just a handful of us, right? If it's just me, you, and our older brother, you know what I mean?
those conversations are something too.
And then when our baby brother get to come in town and we can catch him, it's everything. And then when our baby sister can fly into town, it's everything. And when our middle brother comes to the house, start cooking, it's everything.
Girl. Hey, we eat good, we talk good, we
Every
sleep
time
good.
we sleep good, and that's and that's another thing for us to have found each other as adults. When you see us together, you wouldn't know that. It's like we've always known each other,
Mhm.
and that's a beautiful thing.
Beautiful.
No
Remember,
animosity.
Hooks was an answer to his prayers. That's
Yeah,
all. He just wanted us to all get along.
that's it. That was it.
And to watch him sit on his little space next to the garage in our little meeting area and just smile, and for him to
Yeah. Let me tell you what's funny what Daddy would say. Daddy would say every time he see one of us walk by, he said he call us by our mama's name.
yep, yep.
Beautiful thing. So yeah, so I recognize what I was missing out on for the first 23, 24 years of my life. I've always felt like something was missing. I knew that I had brothers and sisters because I dreamed about it multiple times. It also molded the way I navigated life when it comes to relationships because I didn't know him. Meaning, I, if I was in a relationship and before I would even, if I even felt like I was getting serious, I would ask that person where their family was from. If it was from North Carolina or Maryland or Virginia, I was like, stop right there. If they
It's a no for
even,
me, dog.
it's a no for me. I'm sorry. Because I just didn't want to be what you hear about some families being involved in a family member and not even know it because, no conversation transpired and you just didn't know about the missing link in your life. So that navigated how I dealt with relationships. But finding him, I felt whole. I don't know how else to explain it. I used to look in the mirror as a child and try to figure out the miss who I look like, right? Put your phone on mute for a second. And I never thought I looked like my mother. I never thought that. Weird, right? People would tell me all the time that I looked like her, but I never thought I did. I was looking for what my father looked like. I also, because I didn't know all of me from a parental perspective, I also didn't like to take pictures and I didn't like to look at myself on a regular basis. And I remember telling someone that before. That when I did start posting pictures of me, right? Someone made a side conversation, a sidebar, sideways comment about, about me taking pictures of myself. And I told them, no, that's not why I'm doing it because quite honestly, I don't even like what I see in the mirror. And that person's face changed when I made the statement because they didn't know. I think they thought that I was really conceited. And that's would be a total lie. Total lie. That's not who I am. That's not the kind of person I am. Um, but me saying it to me admitting that to someone else made me look at myself and like, hey, hold on. We need to work on this. Right. So it was a light shine moment on myself to really understand, all right, now we can't be walking around here not liking ourselves. We got to work on this. And so I was able to work on it over time, but it was truly after I met my father. It was after I met my father that I was able to say, oh, I like what I see because I'm literally looking at my father and my mother when I look in the mirror. And so I love both of them. And if I love both of them, I should have that same level of love for myself. But again, it was meeting him that helped me do that. And to think that could have been a moment of me not knowing him, how I would have struggled with looking in the mirror, right? And then after meeting him, we have some of the same movement is why.
Cause girl, if you don't look like your daddy, talk like him, move like him, girl, I'd be like, all right, hey, daddy, and she just kind of looked like, huh?
It's wild, right? The same kind of cadence. Even when our voice can go high pitched, that's him. Um, it's just wild. It's really wild the similarities. And then to not only, be his daughter, to have a great relationship with him, to be able to call him at any given time of the day and he will pick up, to be available any given moment in time if you need him. Um, but to at the same time to be able to sit in silence and that be enough, right? That be enough. That's him all day. He does his saying is if I don't hear from you all, it's good news. He's more concerned if we call because he's afraid that life isn't going okay for us. He just wants us to be okay. So, things like that, having this guy, this person in our side like that is huge. It's huge. Um, I don't know. Your turn, because it's so much that I can say about this guy. I love this guy. There's so much I can say about this guy. On top of that, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about the six of us that's interesting, and I haven't quite figured this thing out yet. If we ever want this man to be home so we can all come visit him, somehow I get appointed to get this man to be in town to come. I don't know how I got to be appointed.
Because you're the oldest sister.
We have an older brother.
You're the oldest sister. You know that. You, but
That's because that's because there's only few people that he'll. I don't even know if there is any. I don't even know the word is people at this stage. There is only a couple of us, his kids, that he listened to, the kids, because I don't know nobody outside of us that he'll listen to, because his parents are no longer with us. But um, I'll tell him about very true, and I'll tell him when he And I think it's because of the way I deliver it. He doesn't get too defensive about it. You know what I mean? Um,
he looks in the mirror in all aspects. You do realize that. He's essentially
and female,
when you talk to him. Yeah,
that makes sense. That makes
yeah. That's what it is. So we all know that. We accept making the delegation as we do. And it's lovingly delegated.
Oh God, that's hilarious. I was
That's
thinking
why
about the group.
my niece who looks like me, we'll talk about that again too, because I'm telling y'all,
Girl,
she gave birth to one of my children. I'm telling you. But
listen.
like mama,
You
and
like
mama goes, well, call him. And she like, no, you. He knows. So, look, just gratefully accept it. It is what it is. We ain't gonna make no changes, so you might as well go ahead and just accept it. The same way you talk to him, and he be like, all right, all right, all right. Just going ahead and say, all right, all right, all right. It is what it is.
listen. I feel like it's abuse. No one. Listen. I am the oldest girl, and I want to tell my story.
She said,
Abuse.
well,
Abuse. All right. I will willingly accept.
thank
It's
you.
all good. It's all good.
So now we
Hilarious.
gotta record it. So we gotta record it. We got it on. We got it on recording. And you agreed to the recording when we hit record. So just know it's Dutch. No
Hilarious.
taking
Hilarious.
back.
But true, very, very true, very true um, topic when it comes to daughters and their fathers. It's a very true topic to the point where even society recognizes the importance of the two dynamics, especially when you think about father-daughter dances, when you think about some fathers who are do it all. They do it all. They pick up the kids and you get the kids together for school, help them with their homework. They are indeed protectors and caregivers when it comes to their daughters. And to be able to see your father do that your entire life or in your life in general when it comes to you is very valuable. You can see different videos on social media about daughters who are married, grown and married, and they call their daddy for everything. Now, the daddy will have to, you do have a husband at home. I'm gonna need you to call him first, right? So you can't allow your relationship with your father to supersede your marriage, but you do need to continue to cultivate that relationship just like you would a relationship with a friend, right? And being able to have open dialogue to talk about if you feel hurt by something that may have transpired with your father. Have that conversation. Because I can tell you all that I've had that conversation. What transpired those 24 years prior to him being in my life. And he he flat out told me that, and to be honest and to be fair, he was not capable of being a father when we were not around. He was depressed for years for losing what he should not have lost, right? The connection of his children. And he knew that he wasn't capable of being present the way he wanted to be, which would have hurt us more. He flat out told me that. And he apologized for those things. And that he's very thankful that our mothers were capable of being there for us. And he wished that he could have been present, but at the time he knows that our mothers made the best. For me, my mother made the best decision that could have been made. Right. Each of our stories are different, but at the same time, I am thankful for meeting him at the time that I truly needed because, quite frankly, at the time, the things that I was going through when I met him, I need my father. I needed a father at that time. And while um, I was, married with two kids, I, the way I was able to even connect and communicate with him, I finally decided to have a conversation with my mom. It wasn't really a conversation, it was me telling her that it was time. So I came to visit her one Saturday, brought the kids, the family. We were over there having a good time. We cooked, we ate, we chatted, we talked, we watched some movies, played some music, all the things at my mother's house. And I've always been concerned about, relationships and being involved and making sure that wasn't someone that I was related to. And now that I got these two kids, that fear was now gripping me when it came to my kids. And I did not want them to have to mentally go through that somersaulting when it comes to relationships. So as I was leaving her house, instead of having a uh, a dialogue conversation about things, I told her that it was time. It's time. I said, you don't have to say anything. I just need you to hear what I'm saying and understand where I'm coming from. And after I said what I needed to say, she looked at me. She said, okay, baby. Gave me a kiss. I left. I went home. A day or two later, she called me on the phone and was like, I found your, I got his number. This is his name. This is where he lives. This is where he works. He looks forward to speaking to you. And I immediately picked the phone and called my uncle. So the first contact I had in our family was our uncle. And he was so ecstatic to hear my voice. And then to hear him say that we've been looking for you all your life. We've always known about you. The last we heard, you lived in Florida. And my grandmother wanted to hear me. Everybody was looking for me. And they was like, hey, your daddy is out in Nevada. He's out in Nevada in a truck. This is his number. But we so happy to have found you. and we're never letting you go again. So, to know to not only that I'm searching for them, but they're searching for me too. So, that story isn't something that everyone had. That was my story. So it was a blessing. Divine timing, right? Everything happens for a reason. It always happens the way it should, whether it feels like it's wrong or not. Everything happens the way it should. So I no longer, I no longer believe in coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences. Everything happens in divine timing. Um, and when I did finally talk to him, I was initially, I think, I don't even know I've ever even called him by his name. I might have called him by his name a couple of times, but it didn't feel right on my mouth. It just didn't feel right. And the next conversation that we had, I think by the third or by the fourth conversation, I was saying, "Hey," Dad," and I remember him telling, he said he never forgot the moment that I started addressing him as, Dad. He said that hit different for him. He'll never forget. And you just be amazed at some of the small things that you say or do when it comes to your father that hit different for them than it does for you. And while we may not have necessarily talked about it then, we talked about it years later in a casual conversation. And I tell him, I said, you were always, he was always my dad. Whether we were in the house together or not, I knew in my soul that you were my dad, not father. Yeah, I knew you were my biological father, but the term dad hits different. And for you who have children, you understand, right? You understand how daddy, the term daddy hits different. So even when me and him talk, and I answer the phone and I say, "Hey, daddy," he says, "Hey, dog." That's what he says, right? And if a conversation is a serious conversation, he comes by my full first name, my whole government, right? The hairs on my back stand. I'm like, whoa, yes, Dad, what's going on? Right? It's something serious. Something going on if you talk about my full first name. But um, that type of dynamic and relationship is very vital for the your child growth and development to be very transparent. Um, that you know how a relationship is supposed to be handled when you have a good, great father figure in your life, because not all fathers are biological. And let's just be fair and say that flat out. But to have one that is honest with you and protective of you and communicate with you in truth and honesty is something that's very valuable to a woman in general. Feeling safe. It goes back to that conversation that we kind of hit on a couple of episodes back. Feeling safe in a relationship is very important. You learn that as a child. You learn that from your parent. You learn that from your father, right? And yes, your mother can give you the same security, but something is different about that father-daughter relationship that just cannot be truly put in words, that have to truly be felt in the soul. So, um, that's meeting him was the best thing, one of the best things that's transpired in my life, because then I got to finally meet this lovely lady in front of me that I dreamed about as a child, right? And that's a whole other conversation that we need to have between me and you. But the dynamic of us meeting um, was huge. As a matter of fact, when me and Sherna met, we had multiple family members all around us at the time. We were at the daddy house. Our grandma was there. A couple of our uncles were there and their wives. Um, our kids were present. Our oldest brother was present. Um,
Aunties,
our
twin
auntie was present. Yeah, our twin aunties were present. Our cousins, a couple of our cousins were there. It was one of those moments that you'll never forget, right?
that welcome home moment,
Yes, it was. It
the
really
whole
was.
community.
And then Yep. It was big. It was big. It was huge. And something that you just never will forget. So the dynamic of a father and a daughter, it's everything. I don't know how else to say that. Meeting him also let me, it helped upgrade. It helped upgrade me. It helped me recognize what I was dealing with when I should not have been dealing with in my relationship. It helped me make solid boundaries and decisions. It helped me upgrade my life. It helped me understand the drive that I have in me, and versus being complacent, I kicked up. I don't know what it was. I started like, all right, okay, I know the stock that I come from. Now it's time for me to show and improve, right? And that's really what transpired in my life. No lie. That's what happened. And my father actually saw it, and years later, he actually said something about it. But because he respected me and my boundaries, who I was as a person, instead of him saying, "Hey, you need to end this thing," he was like, "You gonna handle it. I know you gonna handle it because number one, I know your mama." That's what he said. That was the first thing he said. The second thing he said was, I know you're capable and you're gonna do what's best for you always. And if you ever need me, I'm here. If you ever need to come home, I'm here. This is your home too. He gave me keys to the house and everything. So that's one thing about, our father that has always been a staple in our lives. And definitely in mine. So the door is always open. The number is always available. And if you ever need me, I'm a phone call away, right? So um, that's 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 my story for now. Your turn.
Listen, honey, first of all that you got at 23, 24, daddy been doing it. He just had to catch you up. That's it. That's all. He had to let you know this is home. I've been hearing that all my life. You need to come home. Call me. Call me if you need me. You need to come have home. I went home twice. I went home twice. That man always gave me good advice. He- And
Never.
to this day, that man has never judged. Say facts.
Yes. Hmm.
Before I get into mine, though, I want to tap on something because I started crying. I already told you before we hit record. Like it, I'm emotional every damn day. But today, I knew there was going to be some crime because I was already working on the house. Listen, the day I met no, let me even back up even further. Called me, and I had kids already.
Oh, you did. You did.
I did. I had all. I, had, right, I only had two.
Your son was an arm.
Anyways, oh yeah, 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 yeah. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. But I don't know what I had planned that weekend. I don't know if I had to. Didn't give a damn. Daddy said, your sister come home. I said, I don't work, but we was gone. And I told kids are going. You or you can stay here. You can figure your but I'm going. Daddy carries this picture of this little girl in this purple coat in his wife. Seen it all my life because I used to be I'm the clingy one. I women be talking to him. Daddy, I need your attention. Daddy, daddy, daddy. I'm pulling on him. I'm top blocking, okay? I am blocking every get the fuck away daddy, right? I ain't want women around my daddy. I didn't. And that was just as a child. Mind you, we're talking about when we met. Was the only one I wanted to be extremely. For me to have just met her, I pulled her ass in and
Vice, vice bear hug.
girl, that day was one of the best of my life. I didn't care about nobody else in that room. Disappeared. That woman
Mm.
right there, the child on the screen, that's my sister. Fuck around and find out. But that's my sister. And I love her dearly. When she came into our lives in the physical sense, because it was we didn't realize our connection as children until well later, years later. Um, when she came into my life, it wasn't no who's her. Mm, we gotta, look out for her. It was a name, and then I
Mm.
touched her, and I said, "Oh my!" When I tell you I squeezed her so tight. I think that might have been the tightest hug I've given anyone. I had to myself in my head. Let her go. She ain't gonna be able to breathe. Let her go. Let her go. Let her go. I said, no, I can't. Let loose a little bit. And even now, when we are in the same space, I run, I hug her, and I pick her ass, fling her around in a circle. Play with somebody else. Listen, that's my sister. That's my sister. I was just so happy to finally have her physically in. Now, daddy. Oh God, daddy. Listen, when back when I wasn't ready to things, daddy busted my bubble on a many of occasion. And today I thank him for that. Once it made sense to me, I thank him for that, right? I can have, like I said, we can have conversations like that as serious. He's a friend. He is daddy, friend. He is one person that you can you can bear your whole soul to and you're safe doing it. Like absolute vulnerability happens to you.
Yes.
When I was younger, I used to ride with him on his 18 wheeler. This was back when kids on the road with you. Like, But I would be in the truck with him, and he would listen. Mm. I was like, I don't want to hear this shit. But I wasn't cussing then. I was too young. I didn't start cussing until middle school. But I'm talking about being little on his. Yeah, I didn't like the music. And I would ask him, "Can you change the music? I want to hear some R&B." That's what my mama listened to. He didn't want to listen to no R&B on the road.
Mhm.
I promise you, I ain't listening to none of that shit on my own as I grew up. Not what he was listening to. Now, I do like
Mhm.
certain ones, but not what he
Mhm.
was listening to. He used to take me into the truck stop and get me those little the little drawing pads that had the like magnetic stuff in it, and you just take the
The
with
doodles.
yeah, yeah, it wasn't the etch a sketch, y'all. It wasn't the etch a sketch. It was the booklet with the doodle thingy on it with the little pencil with the magnet attached to it, and you just, he would get those from me. And I loved search word puzzles, so I always had those. He made sure to keep his truck stopped when he knew I was going to be in there, get on his nerves. Daddy, music, daddy, change, daddy, talk, 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 right? Anyway, um, my childhood memory of daddy, like we would meet up with daddy in the middle of the night, me and my mom, and my bone would even ride with her to drop me off. Them two, my bonus dad and daddy, they had the utmost respect.
Mhm.
I never heard neither one of them ever say anything negative about them, ever. Now, bonus dad, he has transitioned, and he still looks out to me, he still loves me, and he still gave me the love that a daddy would give. But that man used to, and then even talking to daddy now, he would talk so about my bonus dad. Um, so I was still able to have that daddy daughter relationship even with my bonus dad.
Mhm.
Um, he just wanted.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I got pregnant. 17. No, no, I was 18. I was 18. I got pregnant at 18. I'd already graduated from high school, and bonus dad was disappointed. Not that I was about the choice. He was like, "Oh man." But when I told my biological dad, our daddy, he so we got a baby on the way. Uh, what we gonna do? Well, I had my oldest in August, and it was hot. And a few months later, I packed her up, daddy, with my newborn, and we took the train down to where he was living at, and he picked us up. Now I was really trying to get closer to her father, um, so I can take him to take dad. But they said I ain't doing all that. My brother wouldn't take me, and so I was just like, all right. So I chilled daddy and had some other conversations with him that I needed to have at that time. And but honestly, he saved me. Um, you know, your dad can see things that you can't see, or see things that you're not willing to see. And that was my issue. I didn't want to see it. I felt it, but I didn't want to make it real by claiming or confirming what I felt. And so I had conversations with him doing that. That was a pivotal point. And went to see him during, I needed to sit with him because he had been married more than once and he had had different experiences, even, different relationships too, where he wasn't married. Um, and when he gave me home,
Yeah.
he taught me to watch
Mhm.
without acting all crazy because I learned acting crazy. My mom is a yeller, arguer, very led. So my dad taught me to watch. I ain't saying I didn't still argue. I'm not saying that.
Right.
I still argued. I picked my battles wisely. But I was able to see some things and learn from some of those things. And it allowed me to gain the courage.
Mhm.
Because when I went down to him, that lady said, I'm done. I'm leaving. I ain't, yeah, I'm okay. Because if we back it up to before I married, the he had come the my ex my kid's father, my youngest kid's father, came to me and said, "Oh, Pastor said such and such and such and such," and you know, it was like up in the air about. He was like, "Well, he said that we shouldn't get married," and I know what, I'm over this shit, right? A lot, but I called my dad and I said, "Daddy," because I knew him, his wife, my brother, and his first wife. They were on the road already coming to Baltimore. They said I said, "Daddy," like my mom. He was like, "Why not?" I said, "Because he went and I told him what happened." And he was like, "Well, we already on the road. We still coming up." So I got on the phone with him and I called my daddy, mommy. It ain't gonna be because I called my bonus dad, daddy. I had to. I was blessed. I had to. I said, "It ain't gonna be no way." And I told him what happened. My bonus he said, "What? But you want to say it?" said, "Don't worry about it." He said, "I'll take care of you. Don't worry about it. Let him go. Tell him to get out." My mama ain't said nothing. My mama ain't said nothing. He had it. Now mind you, came together. Daddy, they was looking at each, but bio daddy was, like, she got to make her own choice because we did wind up, of course. Right, the next day, clearly because I had to go through a divorce. Bonus dad was like, I'm just here. I'm just here. But if you want to go home, we can change our mind right in front of the magistrate. We can change our mind, please, right? The right way. He said, let's change our mind all the time, right? But daddy, he told me later, he said, sometimes we gotta learn the lesson.
Yeah.
Okay. He says, so I just wanted you to figure it out for yourself. I knew it wasn't gonna work, but I didn't want you to be mad at me. Yeah. So he at that I, I needed both. And he with me too, I came to him, I think I'm late 20s, early 30s, and I sat down with him at his kitchen table and I asked him, I said, why don't you take me with you? It was the best choice at the time. He said, I wish I could have given a life. He said, but being with your mother actually was better. Okay. And he went into like details. And
Mm-hmm.
I, it was him. I've had several conversations in regards to my mom with my dad. And he actually brought a lot of clarity to me about our relationship, me and my mom's relationship. It helped me to move through the healing that I need. I'm still healing that much. But one thing about it, two things for sure, he always asks when I talk to him. He asks, yeah, said, what's going on with your mama? I don't know. Why you keep asking me about her? Well, next time I talked to my mama was via text message with me happy birthday, and I said thank you, and I told her I love her, and she said I don't. I just don't. I just don't.
Mm-hmm.
Daddy clears up a lot of my confusion.
Yeah.
Um, I can talk to him for hours and gain so much knowledge. Hell, I can talk to him for 10 minutes and still gain a ton of knowledge. Because one thing my daddy can do, our daddy can do, is talk his ass
He can
off.
talk.
Okay? He can
Mm-hmm.
talk. Had I not had the relationship that I would not be where I am. I know that much. My loving sister. I wouldn't know any of my siblings actually. I'm super
Mm-hmm.
thankful for him having the heart that I've missed so much not having him. Makes sense. On a, I grew up with our brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up with two of our brothers, and um, I knew there were children. We just weren't close for reasons, not anything like no beefing or anything like that. Um that wasn't the situation. Just our mothers had to go on and live their lives, so they ain't had time for the bickering that you see some women,
Mm-mm.
baby mothers going back and forth with. Didn't do that. Our mothers didn't do that. I mean, one tried, but she was
Tried.
shut down. Tried, but she was put in place. She was put in her place. She tried. Daddy loves all of us so much, and he's so honest with us. And because of his dream to always have us together, that's what brought us together. His prayer, his wish and desire to have us all know each other and be in contact with one another. That mattered to him more than anything. Even with him in my life earlier than the point where he was in ties with, I still made some decisions because I needed to learn something. So, um, but being able to have that conversation, those conversations with him at those pivotal in my life did allow a different perspective when going into the decisions that I had made for me, right? And the only thing I could do was be like, Daddy told me. He told me watch. I ignored certain things, but did I learn a lesson? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Am I mad? I have no regret. Absolutely none. None whatsoever. Um, because I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't be this strong, and not strong in a sense of I have no choice but to be strong, but strong in a sense of I'm healthy. Healing is always a work in progress, but I'm not where I used to be. And for that, I am truly thankful. And he is the primary reason, him and Thomas, they're reasons, men, all men. Because daddy taught me, my biological daddy taught me that relationships can be healed. Absence, forgiven,
Mm-hmm.
needed. Of It's wonderful love because he loved our mothers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-mm.
None of us. He
None of us.
loved every last one of his children. Loved them. Born, as far as he's
Absolutely.
concerned about that. Because we're talking about daddy. We're not talking about mommies right now. We're talking about daddy. Daddy loved our mothers. And so and our mothers.
Mm-hmm.
We were all conceived out of love. And
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
has their challenges. And I'm always gonna be a daddy girl. And I
Mm-hmm.
love how he loves, even when we were not ones that we were with before, he respected them and he took them in as his own children. He showed them no, he didn't act funny towards them, even though he did what he saw. show any.
Mm.
We they never felt like of that. And when we said we were done with them, the ones that we in the wind, he said okay. And the next person we were in relationship with, he didn't treat them no different. They ain't had to jump through hoops. He welcomed them in with open arms, a full heart. He said,
Mhm.
"Hey, you are my daughter. You are what's up."
Mhm.
And he has a because we have to live our lives, and he allows us to do so. He accepts us in our authenticity.
Mhm.
An ode.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Did you have any else to add?
I think that I think that wraps it up. It really, I couldn't have said it any better. I really couldn't. Today.
You are daddy. So y'all, we didn't catch y'all for a while. I love you. This journey called life continues.
So let's talk